right. Okay. I think we're good to go. So thank you guys all for hopping on with us. This is like one of our favorite things to do is just share this opportunity because for Chelsea and it's changed our lives so much. And we get so excited to share this opportunity with all of you who might be considering joining our teams as coaches as well. I think it was last month, we did a coach interview like this same style, and it was awesome. It was a great way to kind of hear other people's stories aside from just ours. I feel like it's always us talking to everyone. So we were able to pull in some of the girls from our teams and just ask them just like some super basic questions and have an open conversation about it and allow people to ask questions and interact to whatever level you'd like. You can pop stuff into the chat. You can unmute yourself and ask. You can just be a fly on the wall and listen. Whatever works for you, but we just thought it would be awesome to give you guys different perspectives. So we have Rachel on the call, who's one of my brand new coaches. She's literally been coaching like 4 months. She's seen some awesome success early on in her business and just kind of gets it and has been really diving in. So you'll get to hear from her. And then we have Christy, who's been coaching with me for, my gosh, over 3 years. I think it'll be 4 years in like February, March. Yeah. So kind of all across the spectrum. And I think Jerry might be sharing with us as well. And I want to say, has it been about a year and a half? Am I right? Yeah. Okay.
And then we have Stephanie, who's literally been coaching for like a week.
So. Yeah. So like all the way from like brand new. And we just wanted you guys to kind of hear like from them what their reservations might have been before they started. Cause I know sometimes it's scary, and depending on your personality, like I'm super introverted, I'm very shy by nature. So for me to think about like putting myself on social media publicly, I was like, oh, I want to crawl in a hole and die. But I saw the opportunity and the potential of this. So for me, that was kind of my initial fear. And then I also kind of had, and this isn't my show today, I want you guys to have an opportunity to talk. But for me, I was like, my ego kind of got in the way too. Like I'd gone to school for an MBA. I worked in the corporate world in human resources for 15 years. And I was like, to a point, I was kind of like, I think I'm above this. Like, I'm not going to do network marketing and, be a Beachbody coach. Like, I think I'm beyond this now. I got my MBA. Like, I have an office at work, like all these things that kind of got into my head. And it really like, this is hands down the best job. Insert income disclaimer, because everybody makes different incomes based on what you work, but I'm making more now than I ever did working in downtown Boston in human resources with 15 years experience and an MBA. So that's my quick little spiel for an intro. I think we just jump right in and we can kind of just go through the questions with you guys. So the first question we wanted to ask is, what made you decide to join us as a coach? And then maybe talk us through some of those fears that you had when you were thinking about joining as a coach. Like, what were you thinking? Like, oh God, I don't know, this part's scary. And then kind of what you think about that now. So like, maybe like I was scared of putting myself on social media, but now I'm like, it's actually kind of cool. Like I get to document what I'm doing in my life. I get to share and inspire with other people. I don't know who wants to start, if like you guys want to volunteer to start, or who wants to start.
I'll start. Okay. I just had to take my mute off. Let's see. So when I started because I was just mostly in it for losing weight. I was just at a point in my life where I was like the biggest that I had been in a long time. And I had reached out to Alana. I joined. I was going on a trip to Aruba, and I wanted to get in shape to get there. I went to Aruba. I completely didn't get to where I wanted to be at all. I didn't commit good enough. So I was in Aruba, and I just remember that feeling of like every time we were getting dressed to go out, or every time I had to put my bathing suit on, I felt like really, really crappy. I was not happy with where I was at that point. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. So I came back from that trip. And I was like watching, just in these accountability groups, watching people have results, and it was just amazing. And I was like, okay, I want this. I saw the smiles. Alana's like energy and smile was like radiant, like radiating off of her. And I was like, this is what I want. So I jumped in, I picked a program, I did 80-day obsession, and I was seeing like amazing results. And that's when Alana reached out to me and said, you're inspiring others and you don't even realize it. And that's what I was doing, because I was sharing my journey just because I was feeling so good. So I wanted to share. And she's like, why are you not coaching? Like, you should be doing this with me along my side and sharing it. And I just never thought about it. So I was like, I never really thought about it. So she kind of got my, my wheels spinning. And I was like, maybe I'm already doing it. The fear I had though was putting myself out there on social media. I remember my first post, I was so scared, and Alana was talking me through it. I remember exactly where I was, and I remember having the transformation photos and putting them out there, and I was scared. I did not want to put them out there. I was like embarrassed, scared, didn't know what people would think. I got that post up, I put it out. I remember like messaging Alana, like, I did it, I put it out. And the response from people was incredible. Like, it felt so good. It was such a relief to get that out there. And then the response from people was just incredible. With people like, what are you doing? Oh my God. And it wasn't even like you wanted that, like, you look great. It was just the inspiring others. And then I just jumped into it and the fear was gone. So it was just getting over that hump of putting myself out there. And once I did, it was totally worth it.
Yep. That's awesome.
I can go next, Lee, if you want.
Okay.
So for me, I started out as a challenger as well. I, had no thought of coaching. And then I just started very shortly into my journey. I want to say it was only like a month and a half, maybe. I started feeling so good about myself, and Chelsea had presented me with the opportunity to become a coach. And I was like, at first I was like, no way, I don't think I can do that. I know nothing about fitness. I like literally was somebody that never worked out a day in her life, aside from like high school sports, I think. And so I was like, I don't think I could do this. I know nothing. Like, and she kept instilling in me, like, it's okay. Nobody knows anything when they're first starting out. Like, we will provide you with the trainings. We will walk you, through everything. And so I was like, okay, well, what do I really have to lose? So I gave it a try, and I was like, worst comes to worst, it just doesn't work out and I don't do it. But so I jumped in. I started, for me, it wasn't the fear of like putting myself out there on social media. Like, I don't know, I'm a pretty like, I don't know what you would call me. Like, I don't know. I'm like not an introverted person. Yeah. Like, I don't really care about that. I was already posting like my pictures of my kids and pictures of myself and whatever on social media. So for me, that wasn't really a fear. But for me, the biggest fear was failure, honestly. Like, I was so afraid of failing at this, I guess, even though I said like, oh, what's the worst that could happen? It doesn't work for me. But for me, it was like failure of, and I think a lot of that comes from like my life and growing up. I was always afraid of that, like always afraid of like setting a goal for myself and, letting people see that I set this goal for myself and then like not following through with it. And, my family has seen that happen with me, and I know many people have. So I think for me, it was like, oh, I'm going to set this goal and people are just going to be like, oh, this is just another thing she's doing and not going to follow through with. So it wasn't necessarily, like I said, the putting yourself out there, but just the fear of the failure. And I think that's what a lot of people fear is like, maybe I'm not going to be good at this. Maybe I'm not going to be able to whatever, like follow through with it or help people. But truly, like it just, for me, it was like the best decision I made was to just like stop worrying about the fear of failure and just honestly, because you're going to fail. Like, so I feel like failure is the best part about it, honestly. Throughout this whole coaching experience, for me, it was like learning what works for me and what doesn't work for me. And part of that is like the failing forward concept. So I don't know, that was my little
Yeah, I
spiel.
relate to that so much. And I think, I agree. That's what holds a lot of people back, is that fear of failing. So.
And I always say too, like, you really only fail if you quit, because otherwise they're just all like learning experiences, right? Like, okay, this didn't work. I'm going to readjust and do it again.
Well, you look at any successful person, like people that you admire in the world, and it's like, did you fail? Yeah, of course I failed. Like, that's the only way I got to where I am right now,
You think about it with anything, I feel like in life, it's like every experience that we go through is like a lesson. So it's not like, it's no different with this journey. And that's what I have to keep like reminding myself, even still a year and a half into it. I like always remind myself that like everything is a lesson. So whether it's like a failure or whether it's like a win, like everything is a lesson and you just keep learning throughout it. So
Right. I feel like it's even like a failure. It's kind of just like we're human and we get off track. And as long as you just keep getting back on that path to success, then like, I think, Alana, what you just said makes so much sense. It's only failure if you quit.
Yeah, it's the same with our fitness and nutrition. Like, this business
so true.
correlates so closely to what we do with our fitness and nutrition. Like, the people who throw in the towel, like, that's the only way that you fail. Otherwise, it's like, okay, so you ate the birthday cake. Like, what are you going to do? You get back on the saddle the next day and you know exactly what to do to clean it back up. And, you do your workout and like all the different steps. It's the same with this business.
Right. And you're in control of not failing because you're the one who controls yourself. So if you really don't want to fail, you'll keep going.
Yep.
Stephanie, what about you? Yours is a little bit, you're like me, like,
Yeah. So I actually have related to everybody's story so far. So I've actually been a coach for 2 years because, I watched Chelsea's transformation and I was like, you know what? I'm about to have a baby. I was the heaviest that I had ever been in my life. And, for me, it was very hard for me. When I gain weight, it hits me very hard. Is my biggest depression. It is the biggest thing on myself. And I've been heavy now for about 4 years. I came back to the United States because I'm in the military and I got in a relationship. I got married, gained the weight there, and then I got pregnant. And, at that point, I started reaching out to Chelsea. And I think at that point, Christy was pregnant too. And, she was trying to get me to do the workouts, that Christy was doing. I didn't do it. I was like, you know what, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And tomorrow never came, and then I had my daughter. We had a lot of issues with her and I used those as more excuses. Just had another baby a couple months after Chelsea and, I'm seeing her transformation and I'm like, God, I just want to get my body back. And I finally, a couple weeks ago was like, all right, fat girl, it's time to go away and, become happy again. And I reached out. And honestly, coaching is how I'm able to keep myself accountable, because how am I supposed to do this and represent something that I truly believe is amazing? So coaching is why I get up every single morning and work out or try to stick to the diet. And, as like you, Jerry Lynn, I literally have so many different side things that I've done and I haven't failed in them, but this is the only thing that works in my schedule right now. In the military, I have a lash business. I have a tumbler cup business, but I have no time to do those. With this, I'm able to coach, do what I need to do, and stop, parent, be a wife, go back to doing what I need to do, and stop and go. And that's what I love about it too, is I feel rewarded every single time I accomplish one thing on my list of coaching and when I work out. And that is why I'm going to continue to do this. And seeing you guys and how far you've gone in this business is an inspiration. It just pushes me more and more, and why I want to push harder and harder and be the best coach that I can be.
I love it. It is the ultimate accountability, because I can tell you there are so many mornings that, like, if no one was knowing, if I was like not putting myself out there publicly, I would have skipped workouts. I would have eaten whatever, once you have other people depending on you, it kind of changes everything.
yeah, that's the way it is for me too, because like people look at me and they'll just be like, oh, I'm not a fitness person. I'm like, do I look like a fitness person? Like, no, I'm like, I just want to be a happy person. I struggle with addiction and depression and all the things. And if I wasn't a coach, 100%, when I had my baby, I wouldn't have jumped back in, like 100%. It was so hard. Like, pregnancy is not easy. And like, I 100%, if I didn't have these girls here, I wouldn't have jumped back in. So coaching keeps me accountable 100%, which I'm very grateful for, because this lifestyle is a lifestyle. It's what I want for the rest of my life. It's what I want for my kids, but not every day is going to be easy. There's going to be days where you're like, oh, I do not want to do this. Like, give me that freaking calzone. Like yesterday I had a big calzone, but you jump back in the next day. Right. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that for me, my story probably goes more with that. So I started Beachbody, I think it was 2018. Like, there was a girl who I had done cheering with in high school, and she was doing, I think it was like T25 or something like that. And I was like, okay, I just had a baby. I can fit in 20 minutes before I got to go to work. Like, there's no excuse. It's 20 minutes. That's all I got to do. So I remember starting that program and going through it and watching everybody, and everybody was doing so good. But I've always kind of been somebody who loves, I mean, I worked at the gym. I'm a certified spin instructor. I've done all that. But it was just too hard for me to juggle having a full-time job, getting my butt into the gym, being a wife, being a mom, running a household. Like, my plate just felt so full that I couldn't do it all. And as a mom and as a wife, you're the last person that you think of, right? So you put everybody else before you. So I would give up on my fitness. I would give up, and you'd cook dinner for everybody and you're like snacking on what the kids are eating. You're doing that stuff. So you fall off and then you're not held accountable for it because no one's really watching you. So for me, I was like, okay, I know something has to change. I can't keep continuing down this crazy roller coaster of ups and downs and feeling great and then not feeling good and then feeling great and then not feeling. It was just too much. And I had reached a point where I was just like, I'm done. I don't want to do the rat race anymore. And I have been following Alana this whole time. And I was like, if she can do it, I can do it. There's no excuse. I can do it. I really dove into the personal development because I've actually never done any of that and realized that so many reasons why I didn't make that push to make the change were my own limiting beliefs. And I just needed to get over it and just move on and just do it. Just get over it and do it. And that was it. And being a coach has held me so much more accountable. I mean, I've only been a coach for 4 weeks, but I know in the last boot camp that we did in October, like I usually would start on day like 4. I'd be like, you know what, I'm going to take a rest day. And my one rest day would turn into 2 rest days, which would turn into never turning it back on for like a week and a half and then feeling like crap. So for me, coaching keeps me completely accountable. I know if I'm not showing up, my girls aren't going to show up either. And I know, especially because I know some of the girls that are signing up as clients and stuff, that I know their stories. I know what they want to, what they need to get through and what they need and what they can get out of this. That if I can consistently do it and show it to them, then not only am I going to feel better, but they're going to feel better. So, there's so much that this program and this company has to offer between fitness, nutrition, and supplements and personal development that it's crazy to think to me that I've waited so long. I should have done this years ago.
And you know what you were just talking about too, I actually was writing notes because I'm like, I don't want to forget this. I feel like one of the coolest parts when you're a new coach is like, typically you're working from your warm market. When you're a new coach, like people you already know, whether it's friends or coworkers or family or whatever, that holds you so accountable. When it's people that you know, you're like, all right, I told this person I'm going to help them, or they're going to come in and be my accountability buddy. Like you got to show up. These people know you. And, as you get further into your coaching journey, you start to expand your market. And, I work with people now who I don't know personally, but I think that's a really cool part of like first starting out as a new coach is your warm market that holds you super, super. It's basically like you're inviting people in to be your accountability buddies in fitness and nutrition.
Yeah. I mean, like everybody that's coming to join they're like my friends. So, I mean, acquaintances and friends and people that you know from town or from the past. And, you still know who they are. And it's kind of cool in my little like messenger group, like that, especially for the November girls that had just started, everybody's introducing themselves and everybody kind of got a little bit personal the other day about what their goals were and why they're trying to get there. And it was just like, everybody has their own struggles. And it's great to have this little group that can like help you get to that next thing. It's awesome.
And I feel like your background is a little different than, well, I know from anyone else because you came from a fitness background. So you were like a certified spin instructor, group instructor, but that just didn't maybe fit into mom life, or how did that kind of pan out?
Yeah. So, I mean, I went to college for a biology degree, and then I have a concentration in like medical imaging and nuclear medicine and chemistry and physics. And so that's what I went to school for. Like I thought I was going to work in the hospital. That's it. This is all I ever want to do. I love patient care. So while I was going to school, I realized really quickly that number one, not living at home and eating college food, I was going to get super fat. Like I just do not have the genes that have a fast metabolism. Like that does not happen in my family. So number one, that freshman 15 came on really quick. And I was like, okay, I feel awful. I need to do something. And I had always been an athlete. And I was on cheerleading teams. So I was on the collegiate cheering team, and then we put our uniforms on, and I would look around at all the other girls and I'd be like, okay, what are you doing that I'm not doing? So one of the girls introduced me to actually working out at the gym because I had never done it before. So I started working out at the gym. I started running. We were required to take a gym class in college. So it was like, you could pick like dance, or you could pick running, so I picked running because I always was like, okay, they look so peaceful while they're running, but when I am running, I feel like I'm gonna die. So what are they doing? Like, am I doing something wrong? And I remember doing that running class and like learning how to progress yourself to run further distances and stuff like that. I loved it. So I just continued on with running. And then while I was in school, I actually ended up getting a job at a gym because they had great hours, because they were open really early in the morning and they were open really late at night. So I remember getting in and I would work the front desk, and I was introduced to all the different trainers and the instructors, and they'd say, oh, come take my class, come take this class. And because I worked there, I could go for free. So I was like, okay, I'll try it. But then once I found the classes, I realized it was like the camaraderie, like the accountability and the group of like having those people. You just wanted to go more, not so much to just exercise, because yes, you feel great after you exercise, but more because it was like your friends are there and you got to get it done. And if you don't show up, they're going to call you out.
Yeah.
So it was a way for me to make money while going to school. And I loved it. I loved every second of it, but I never felt like I could actually make a living off of it. So like the fitness industry in the gym is super competitive. You can cover like classes for other people until you get your own set schedule, but then you have to be at the gym before your class, you have to teach your class, and then you get paid, you only get paid for that like 45 minutes that you're teaching a class. And then you got to do travel back and forth. And with childcare and everything, it wasn't gonna work for me once I graduated. And I had, like you, Alana, I had this degree. I started working for Mass General. Like I was like, oh, am I still gonna really like go teach classes at the gym? Like I can just work one job and be fine.
Yeah.
But I realize now that it's not all about like, for me right now in my life, I have to find something that's gonna make me happy.
Yeah.
Because going into a job where you're miserable is not the way to go.
That's all.
Like if you are walking into work and you're dreading it, then you got to find something else, because you can't do that anymore. And when you just feel like unappreciated, and it's just so different here. I don't know what it is. It's fantastic.
I would on you, like all your whole body, like the stress of that, like the stress of a job that you hate can like mentally change you. The stress, like the cortisol, the weight gain, like all of it kind of goes together when you're just not happy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's too, like with society, like you're supposed to go to college, like I did, I went to college, I got my degree, I worked a job, like I was a director at 21 of a dementia unit and senior living, but I was at the bar after work every single time. Like I was drinking my feelings away because I was so exhausted. I was on call, you know, I was salaried, but I was working like 70 hours a week. And it's just like when I got sober, I was like, I can't go back to that lifestyle. And then I had kids. So I was like, I'm not going to put them in daycare. I'm not going to do that. So I started waitressing at night just so I could be home with the kids. But even that was like, I need something like being in healthcare, you want to help people, you want to serve a purpose, and waitressing, I wasn't doing that. So this gave me that sense of purpose, you know. And I think at first too, it's like, you have to humble yourself, because it's like, and I'm sure you related, like you have this degree, like you should be doing so much more, like you're doing Beachbody, like, and at first that was something in my mind, but it was like, humble yourself, you know, you're helping people, you're starting something new. And like, so I totally relate to that.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, first of all, don't even know that this business opportunity exists. Like to go back in time, I don't even know if it existed when I was in college, because I'm a little bit older, but to like go back in time, like I see people now who are like college students starting a coaching business or just out of college. And I'm like, oh my God, what I would do to go back to my early 20s and know about this business. Holy cow, like to be able to just dedicate a good like 5 years before I even had kids would have been incredible, but better late than never. So here we are.
Yeah. So I think once I just like made the decision, it was like, okay, and I'm all in. Like, I think that with this, you have to like, you just have to stay focused. And I feel like with this company, you can do amazing. It's not that hard. You can get the work done in a couple hours a day, and you can still, like right now, I dropped both my kids off at school. I got to go pick up my daughter, but like she goes to school 2 days a week and I'm home with her. I can save the money on paying a babysitter every day, all day. I don't have to stress about being on call all night, overnight. I don't have to stress about working every holiday and missing all that time. Like, I mean, I still teach at the university, which I love. But that's just because I feel like I just like helping people. And when I came to the realization that, I mean, at teaching, and when I teach, I'm helping those students. When I do this, I'm helping people progress in their health and make progress and be there to support them. And you're still helping. It just because I'm doing it in a different setting doesn't mean that it's any less. So
Yeah, you can kind of transfer those skills into like different jobs or career paths. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and
Okay.
this company, sorry, but I'm just thinking like this company, I don't think like we were saying, a lot of people don't know it exists, but they also guide you, like they give you the tools you need to succeed. Like you
Yep.
can't fail. I mean, the trainings are upon trainings to teach you so many things and help you. So
Yeah, I mean, you have to be self-disciplined to actually do it, but definitely all the tools and
much.
resources are there. And then we have us as a team to kind of help
Right.
like show you the ropes and give you step-by-step instruction. And some people do it and some don't. And it really just depends on people's goals and their self-discipline, I guess, to really stick to it and make a business out of it. And I think too, it's important to note that not everyone's goals are the same. Like I talk to women sometimes who are like, I really like my job. Like sometimes they don't relate to my story where I was like, I hate corporate world. I want out. I want to be home. I want to make my own schedule. I don't want to answer to a boss. Some people really like their jobs. And I try to like tie that into my story that like, I understand some people love their jobs. That was never me, but it doesn't have to always be that coaching is going to replace your income. There are plenty of people who supplement an income and they have two things. And like Rachel was saying, she really loves working at the university. So she has these two things that she really loves and she's able to help people in different ways. And even like when you were talking about teaching fitness classes, I talk to personal trainers sometimes, and I think sometimes they're nervous about coaching because they feel like it's going to take away from what they can offer their clients. And like, oh, my clients are going to all want to just do Beachbody workouts and not work with me. And I'm like, but you can only work with people in like a 10-mile radius right now. This opens like the entire world to you. And you get to incorporate nutrition in because, you're working with your clients in the gym for an hour a day. And then what are they doing the other 23 hours that they're not with you? They need the nutrition support. So I think sometimes people look at coaching and wonder, like, does this have to be the end all be all? And it doesn't have to be. It can be if you want to build to a full-time income, or it can be part-time and can supplement what you're already doing. So,
but I also think too, like in a sense, like people like if you had the opportunity, like if you could win the lottery tomorrow, would you say yes? Would you say yes to winning the lottery? I'm sure everybody would, right? And that's how I look at this business. Like this is a lottery. Like you can make what you deserve to make. Like it's totally up to you and put what you put in. But like I won the lottery. My job when I was working salary, I made 25 cents a year raise. Like my income is doubling every single year. So I think fear is just really. I feel like fear just holds everyone back, honestly.
I also was going to say, I should have said this before, but with the coaching, I didn't ever plan on this to be like a full-time job for me. I was always doing it on the side. I had a job where I was making six figures. I was 17 years into my career with my degree and everything. And it got to a point where my family and I wanted to relocate and we wanted to be in Florida. We didn't want to be in Connecticut anymore. And I knew in the back of my mind the whole time, I have this Beachbody business on the side, this little business that I'm doing, but I have something where like, I didn't know if my job was going to let me transfer. I was waiting on a transfer. I almost didn't want them to transfer me. I was done with that career, and it didn't happen. So I kept, I got to the point where we moved, we relocated, and we got here, and I had to give up my 17-year career that I had climbed the ladder and built all this career in. And it was amazing to know, like, okay, I'm not making a ton of money right now with Beachbody, but I still have an income that I can provide to my family. I still can pay my daughter's car payment. I can still pay for groceries. I can still get my nails done. I still have enough money. I'm not making the money I was making, but now I have the opportunity because I have the time to make this little business that I have, and like the sky's the limit, and just keep growing it and growing it, put all of it. So to have that too, that's another thing. Like I was able to relocate my family knowing that I have a side hustle where I have income.
Yep.
And now you get to live where you love to vacation, which is huge.
Right. Able to move.
I remember us talking about that. Christy's my coach. So had she not said yes to this opportunity, I wouldn't have said yes to this opportunity. Geraldine wouldn't have said yes. Stephanie, and like you see the ripple of lives changing, and it's amazing that you get to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I signed up to be a coach, honestly, I mean, it was only a few weeks ago, right? But I was like, okay, I knew I was leaving the hospital. I was not doing that anymore. I can't do the rat race. I'm over it. And I had been teaching on the side for 2 years. So I had my full-time job and my part-time job as a teacher. So I was transitioning into taking more classes as a teacher and teaching those and then leaving. But I knew that I was going to lose income. So I was like, you know what? I can make a couple $100 or whatever. I can make a little bit of extra money to pay for my Shakeology and I'll be a coach, I'll be held accountable, but I can make this little side money so I can continue to do other things. But now that I'm in here and I'm learning more about it, I'm realizing that the potential is huge here. Like I thought it would just be this little side thing. And now I'm realizing that I don't know, maybe teaching will be a little bit more of a side thing for me because this is great and I'm doing so much better than I ever anticipated it would really go. And I'm sure that there'll be peaks and valleys when it comes to it, but so far everything seems to be going really well.
That's what I think it is mostly, is like people don't realize and for me, what was a huge, I mean, obviously Chelsea and Alana also, but to see like when we went to the mini, what was it? The mini summit in Pennsylvania. It was like, for me, that was like, I honestly always looked at Alana's coach like she was some famous person in the world. And like, I was like, to be able to like sit there honestly and just see like, these are just regular freaking people that decided to join and say yes to an opportunity that has literally changed their lives. Like to me, to actually sit there and listen to like the 3 different stories, just like we're listening right now to everyone's story. And to like, I think a lot of people sit back and they're like, you know, because I have some people that I know that, you know, I've talked to, some girls even that are just challengers on my team. And, you know, I work with them closely. So, you know, a few times we've been in the presence of each other and I'm always at like work watching like trainings on my spare time or whatever, or like if we have a call to jump on, I'm jumping on that call. So I think like they've like peeked in and seen a few of the things. And I think people see those calls and they just think like, that's not possible, right? Like, it's like these people, there's no way I could get to that level. There's no way I could get there. Like, and it's like, to actually be able to have the opportunity to sit there and like talk to people and you two, like, it's like every person is just a regular person that started out where all of us are starting out. And I think it's like that for me is like, it's like always instilling belief in each other. And I feel like that's like huge to me, and having the ability to like just hear from so many different people constantly. And it just makes me realize more and more, because again, like Rachel said, like I honestly signed up. Yeah, I wanted discounts. Yeah, I didn't want to have to pay for my shakes as much. So I was like, oh, I'm going to do it to, you know, sign some people up so I don't have to pay for my shakes. But like, as time went on, I'm like, oh my God, this is literally like, if I could do this every day of my life and do nothing else, I would be so satisfied. Like every in-person get together we have, like, there's just so much fire in this business and in the community and everything that I feel like so many people that are just challengers miss out on so much that it has to offer. Like if you think being a challenger is great and being a part of a community, you are missing out not being a coach, because the coaching community is like top notch. Like being a coach is that much better than just being a challenger, honestly. Like that always kills me when I see some of my challengers and they're just like, oh, I'm just comfortable being a challenger. I'm like, well, that's great. You know, again, everybody has different levels of what they want, but girl, you are missing out on accountability if you are not a coach, because coaching is a whole nother level. Like, that is honestly like, I don't know. I just like, I could literally ramble on for hours about this and why I love it so much, but
the support, I think, as a coach too, with the accountability, like you're saying, is just, it's totally next level. Like,
yeah, it's just
and
totally
you just,
different.
and you, the relationships that you get, they're stronger, tighter. You learn so much more from each other. I think because you're coaching, you're like leaning on each other more and learning. It's just,
you are literally like creating, I mean, in a world where so many people struggle with like feeling a sense of purpose and feeling support and feeling like this world can be a very lonely place if you allow it to be, especially with everything that's going on in the world and changing and things we're seeing. And like to be a part of something so much more, like a part of like, you know, to be able to create your own support system because you're choosing now who you're allowing into your space. And granted, yeah, you have family and you have friends, you know, but when you're connecting with people that are on the same level as you, trying to like fight for a better life, trying to just basically like show up as their best self every single day, like it's just so different than just having support from family and people that don't know anything about this you know, community. It's like, so for me, it's like this whole thing, these people, like all these women, and like we have a little like our little chats and our pods that we talk at, like literally I wake up every morning excited to be doing this, to be able to like literally jump on Zoom with my friends and like it's like these are my friends. I like these are the friends I want in my life. These are the people I want in my life. This is the support I want in my life. Like honestly, it's just, I don't know, for me it's just so much more. Like when I talk to, you know, I mean, Chelsea and I have built like such a strong friendship through this community that like I honestly, I tell her all the time, I'm like, Beachbody didn't just make us friends, like we are friends for life now. And this is like, I am so thankful that like, honestly, I mean, I consider Chelsea like a very close friend of mine. So I just feel like there's so much, like when you're feeling down as a person, like I lean on, like, I know it sounds kind of terrible, but I no longer lean on the people I would have leaned on before for support. I lean on these women in this community because they're the people that are going to lift me up, honestly. Like they're the people that are doing the same things I'm doing to build themselves up. And I know that they're the tools. Like it's not just the workouts, it's not just the nutrition, it's the community is the biggest factor in Beachbody for me and for a lot of people, I think.
Definitely. Yeah. The community piece is so huge. And like you said, I feel like a lot of our clients who are in challenge groups get like a little taste of it. Like I'm in there and of course I'm loving on my clients and I'm cheering them on and commenting on their pictures and things like that and answering their questions. But the coaching community is like up here compared to like being a client. And, you know, we have opportunities where, I mean, I'm talking to the girls on my team every single day. We have opportunities for us to hop on Zooms like this just about every day of the week. So it's definitely a different like look and feel when you kind of take that next step from client to coach. Yeah. So, okay. The next question, I feel like we've talked a little bit about it in just like our conversation, but we wanted to get a feel for what you guys would say. So if there are others watching this or like catching the replay or watching live on Facebook and maybe they're a client right now, or maybe they're brand new to Beachbody altogether, what would you say to others who might be considering this opportunity? Maybe they have some reservations or fears around whatever it might be, but what would you say? Like any words of wisdom for people considering the opportunity?
I feel like we've been saying all of that, right?
Just freaking jump. Just
that's
do
what
it.
I mean.
Just jump.
Do it.
You have nothing. Honestly, you really in life, you have nothing to lose. Like you already invested in the products. You're already doing the things. Like you have nothing to lose, honestly. Like this, if anything, this journey is a journey of self-discovery, like to the max. Like it is a journey of understanding what you're capable of and what you need to work on. It is like it's constant self-discovery. And I feel like the only thing you're doing is holding yourself back from something that could be like the missing piece to your puzzle. Like I say that all the time, but that's like, it's the missing piece to a lot of people's puzzles. And I feel like all of us have experienced that, and we're the lucky ones. You know, there's so many people holding themselves back, and I feel like, you know, jump on board. You have nothing to lose, honestly.
Yeah.
I remember like right before I started doing it, it was kind of like, I forget who said it to me, to be quite honest, but if they were like, you know, if you're going through your life and nothing scares you, like if you're just living every day and you're not doing anything that scares you, then you're not living. So just do it, because what's the worst going to happen? You decide you don't want to do it. It's not like other companies where you have to pay like this enormous amount of money to get in. It's not like that. I mean, you have your Beachbody account, It's not, you don't have to invest a ton, thousands of dollars, hundreds and hundreds. You don't have to make this major investment.
Yeah.
It's mostly just you. All you're doing is sharing your own journey through this and trying to improve other people's lives.
Yeah. And
There's
how lucky are we that you don't have to invest thousands and thousands? There are other network marketing businesses where you have to invest thousands and then you have to sell
I
your
know.
inventory and you have to ship stuff. And we literally pay $15.95 a month to run our business, $15.95. And if you hear from other like entrepreneurs who have had like brick and mortar stores, they're like, what in the world? Like I used to pay $7,000, not me, but other people who are like, I used to pay $7,000 for like rent at a retail store. And then you have all the overhead and you have to pay for like tech support for websites and all this stuff. And like Beachbody does all of it for us for $16 a month. It's insane. And I think sometimes people don't fully appreciate that if they don't come from like an entrepreneurial background where they've had that other side of it. But yeah, we're super lucky in that respect for sure.
I feel like too, like if with your question, like if, you know, what to say to people if they're nervous, but like, I get so many people that they do say they're nervous, but I'm like, what are you are you nervous of you're living your best life? Because all we're doing is we're guiding you to teach you how to incorporate being healthier and living your best life. So, you know, when I have people who are like, oh, I get so many people that are like, I'm really sorry, I can't sign up now. I'm like, don't say sorry to me.
No,
I literally just said this to someone this morning. I said, this is not about me. This is about you. I'm not going anywhere. When you're ready, you're ready. But don't say sorry to me. Say sorry to yourself because you're not doing something that you could be doing for yourself. And I get the whole, like, you're busy and it's chaotic and all that stuff. And then you get like well, you know, I just don't have the money right now and this, that. And I'm like, if you really bring it down, it's like 38 cents a day to like sign up and join to be a challenger. If you bring it down to that, there's got to be something that you're spending more than 38 cents on a day that you could eliminate out of your life. Coffee, something, there's something.
yeah, it's usually no,
it's like,
9 times out of 10, we're worried what other people are going to think of them doing a business.
Yeah. So if
fear
it's
of
that,
judgment.
then you have to, that's where the mindset piece comes in and the personal development. And you have to like, that just, you know, that's just where you have to build that strength and that confidence. And that comes with the journey of getting into your own routine and working out and being healthier. I mean, once you start feeling better, the confidence just comes.
Yeah.
Guys, that was literally me 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, I hated the person I was. I'm still the same exact size. Yeah, I've seen a little bit of difference and change in my body, but now I'm okay with my clothes that I was literally wearing 2 weeks ago that I hated on me. I'm okay with how I look in them.
Yeah.
You know, I was very vulnerable to put myself out there. And the moment that I put myself out there and I started the personal development, that's when I started, you know, being positive towards myself. And that's when I started all these posts and coaching literally took off from there.
Yeah.
Like, I used to sit around and do the same thing every day. It was repeat. It was Groundhog's Day every single day. I haven't watched TV in days. I can't even tell you because I'm constantly doing research on this and seeing how I can help people like how you guys have helped me. And literally coaching made my life 10 times better.
Yeah. That's amazing. And for anyone who's listening who isn't in the coaching world yet, like when we're talking about personal development, so it's part of our job. Literally, you get a business activity tracker that you like check off every day. It has like little boxes. Part of our jobs is taking care of ourselves first. So we're doing our workout, we're drinking our shakes, we're following a nutrition plan, because you can't really show up as your best self if you're not taking care of you first. But the personal development piece is you can be reading books. It's all like personal growth and self-development. So books or podcasts, different trainings that might be available. So we give you recommendations and you can kind of like take it whichever way you want to go. Like if you're struggling with confidence issues, there's things we can recommend for that. So many different things, like different ways that you can take it that are just kind of customized and individualized to you and your struggles and challenges or goals or whatever that might be. So when we're talking about personal development, it's like books and podcasts and things like that. Which, yeah, I totally geek out over because undergrad, I went to school for elementary ed and psychology. So all the psychology of it and like the mindset, I'm like, oh, I love all this stuff because like Stephanie was just saying, nothing changed. She's still wearing the same size of clothes, but she's changing what's happening up here. Mm-hmm. And that's such a huge piece because if you change the inside, like your mindset and all the stuff going on inside, all the physical results just happen because you're happier, you're starting to live healthier. You can be consistent with it because you feel so good that you're like, I don't want to go back to what I was doing before. And then the physical results, if you have weight to lose, just naturally happen. And people don't fully get that. They're like, wait, what? Like it just happens? I'm like, it will just happen. If you consistently stick it out, it just happens if you're doing the right things, which is so cool.
That's what I feel like a lot of people don't understand either. And I try and explain that to people when I'm talking to them is this isn't just about like getting you to work out and eat better. Like it's not just fitness. And I mean, that's a huge part of it, but you have to talk about that mindset part because that's so important. I don't think they realize that. They say like, oh, you're a Beachbody coach. Oh, you're just trying to sell me a product or you're trying to get me to work out with you. Yeah, I want you to do that because that's going to make you feel good, obviously. But it's the support and the mindset. Like there's personal development. That's like so important on the journey. So
yeah, I always explain that everybody is our platform. We're basically more like lifestyle coaches and like mindset coaches, trying to help you just improve your life. But we're using Beachbody tools as our platform because you don't have to be a certified personal trainer. You don't have to be a nutritionist. You don't need all of these like accolades because we have people at Beachbody who have already done that work for us. And we leverage that platform to bring people in and use those tools and resources and help guide them through and hold them accountable and welcome them into like this community with the hopes that it's a long-term sustainable change for their lifestyle, which is just awesome. It just lights me up.
Yeah. Like
I honestly think, I'm sorry, Rachel.
Go ahead.
But I honestly think that there's some people that shouldn't even sign up as just, members or preferred customers. I feel like there's some people, and it was like me because I'd had it personally happen, that need to sign up for coaches and need to have that purpose. There's 3 or 4 people that I know and that I'm talking to right now. There's one girl that I know that's having horrible postpartum. There's 2 girls that are going through separations with their husbands. And I'm like, you need to do this for you. Like, you need to do it for you. You need to do it for your children, and you need to do it for the personal growth. Like, how are you going to be a better person if you don't make a change in your life?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I feel so much better. And I wish I can just be like, shake these people. Cause like, you feel so much better. Like I felt so alone here in Florida. I know people, but I don't really know people. And I don't feel alone anymore because I literally have every single one of you guys to talk to every single day.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt, like the same exact way. And I think that's why we relate so much. It's like you want to shake people. Because when I first signed up 3 years ago, it was to lose weight, but my husband had just relapsed and he like drained our account of all the money. I had no friends. Like I had a FAF, which I call his fake ass friend, but I had one of those. And I didn't have anything. And I was like, I need something more. And I signed on for this program and I was put into a challenge group and I was like, ooh, like I feel a little bit of life, like just a little bit more life. And then I was like, people were like, why you're happy now? Like what's happening? And I was like, all right, Christy, sign me up as a coach. What do I need to do? Like I asked her to sign me up.
I remember that conversation. You were driving into work.
I was like, I'm going to be working from like 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. in the morning, like touching people's drool and like all this shit. And I was like, I don't want this anymore. I was like, sign me up. And I literally just signed up as a coach. I remember I was driving through Wells Fargo depositing money and I just like stopped right there and I signed up as a coach and I went into work and I was like, whew, all right, who wants me to help? And everyone like, it was just an amazing feeling. And like how, I had very, very bad postpartum depression, and having you guys in this community, having my 3rd child, I was like, I am fighting this postpartum because I know it's going to try to creep in again, but I was like, I have the tools now. I'm going to just do it. And, I could have easily fallen into a very dark place, especially being an addict and going through postpartum depression, that this program saved my life. Yeah, it's health and fitness, but it's so much more than that. Like it is so much more. Now we get to be that for other people. Like just seeing the light in Stephanie's eyes. It took her 2 years to commit to herself, but a weekend, look how she feels. In a weekend, she's a completely different person. And that's the purpose that I wanted in my life. Like that I didn't know, I could feel again. And like, I look at Geraldine and like, she's probably the only person I trust with my daughter. Like, that's what this community is all about. I trust all of you guys, but you guys aren't local. But you know what I mean? It's just like,
I was going to say, you don't trust us?
No, 100% do, but you guys are way too far. I mean, I'd come to your house to like vacation, but that's about it. So it's just amazing. And then for me, like going through high school and stuff, I was never part of like the group. Like I see so many girls in like high school and stuff, like in each other's weddings and stuff. And I never had that. So like, this is it for me.
Better than that group.
Yep.
It's crazy how close you feel with people instantly. And like, I feel so close to you guys, and really Chelsea, you're the only one I know, but I feel like I can lean and relate to every single one of you in some type of way. And it's exactly what I needed and what I didn't have.
Yeah. And I
I've
think
never
too,
met
like,
Jerry. I've never met, sorry, I was gonna say, I've never met Jerry before, and I've like unleashed on her like about like, oh my God, I'm having a bad day and I'm having anxiety, and like I've like spilled the beans to her. I've never met her before, but like
I know, I was talking to Rachel, and Rachel, so like short little story. So Alana is Rachel's coach and Chelsea is my coach. So technically like we're all part of a bigger team, but we're like little separate teams in between. So like Rachel the other day was like, her and I were messaging back and forth through Messenger, and I like literally, I mean, every morning, like even on the weekends, I like know, okay, I'm gonna hop on Zoom. And in the past, like you know, when I was really good at jumping on Zoom and pressing snooze in the morning, I was always like the first one up there. And I was some mornings, like on the weekends, I'd be the only one up there. But now I know I have Rachel there no matter what. So it's like, I love it. So like every morning I'm
cool.
like, well, worst comes to worst, no one else is on Zoom. I know Rachel is. So
Yeah.
it's just like, and we were talking back and forth, and like, I don't know. It's like, I feel like even when I guess I did meet you in person, and I honestly didn't realize. I
know,
feel so
like, for,
terrible
like, a
because I
hot
didn't
second.
realize that. Like, I'm so mad now that I didn't talk to you more, because I'm like, oh, I totally could have like
fine.
connected more with her at our little live workout. But yeah, it's just like to even see, like, that's how it just grows so much bigger and bigger, is like, you know, I was always like the person that, I mean, I could talk to a wall, I feel like, kind of, but I like
Forever. You
Yeah.
talk to a wall forever.
yes, good. I'm giving good information here.
I know you are.
But no, I just feel like it becomes so much bigger. Like, people don't realize, like, it's not just like this tiny little group of women that you see right here. Like, our team is so much bigger, so much more
Massive.
beyond this. Like, this is just a little taste of what we have to offer. And I'm sorry, but I think we're a pretty fire team. Like, we have like
But
good
the
energy.
cool
and
thing is like, we get to do those live things like you were just saying every
Yes.
3 months now, you know, and you
And that
go
to
and
me is
people
like
and
everything.
yeah, and it's like, you know them already. Like if you met Rachel next in January, you
please,
see
in
her, it's like you already
January.
know each other.
I'm gonna
Yeah, like,
run
you
to
don't
her,
walk
give her a
into-
massive hug.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't walk into, like, you never walk into it feeling like uncomfortable. Like, I remember that first time Chelsea hosted a live workout, and I was like, I don't know how it's gonna be. And I'm like, what are we talking about? Like, I know these people. Like, I don't know them. I've never physically seen them, but I know that they're like my people. These are the people I talk to every single day. Like, I talk to you guys more than I talk to like some of my closest friends that I've had in the past. So it's like, that's why these are my friends. These are my people. These
And
are
we
the
get
people
to
I
create that community in
Yes,
every
like,
state, like every
yeah.
state, every area. She's in Massachusetts, we're in Connecticut, they're in Florida. It's like, we get to spread
Think
that
about the
positivity.
like the other women, the other moms who need this. Like when Chelsea was talking about postpartum depression, and like, think about the other moms who are sitting, and that's how I really got over my fear of judgment and like putting myself out there. I was like, this is selfish. If I'm keeping this to myself, and I know how amazing I feel, and how many other moms, like, I always dreamt of being a stay-at-home mom, and I worked part-time, and my days home with my kids, I was like, good Lord, I don't think I could do this full time. Like, I need like something else with it. And I felt really guilty for it. But think about how it can be lonely and isolating to be a stay-at-home mom. And especially if you live somewhere that's away from family and friends, like how many other moms and women just really need this community and need what we have. And that's kind of my mission when I put myself out there, and I'm like, oh, what's someone going to think? It's like, who cares? If you can save one person who's like really struggling mentally and physically, then that's all I need to like put myself out there. And the rest of the people, I don't really care.
Right.
Yeah,
Because if you think the world has their own little vices, we all have our own little vices or way of coping with things. And especially, I was talking to my therapist yesterday, and she's like, society right now is at a weird spot. She's like, over the past 2 years, it's transitioned to where, you know, the first year of COVID, like a few months in, people are like, okay, I'm going to get motivated, I'm going to get healthy. And now we're kind of at a lull where, you know, depression is starting to creep in again. And, you know, we have the opportunity to pull people out of that in a healthy outlet, instead of going to drink or eat or shop or sex or whatever it is. Like, everybody has some sort of coping mechanism, and we get to give them a healthy outlet, you know, to pull themselves out of it. And that's to me, like, I'll continue to show up every single day because I want to help somebody else struggling like I was 3 years ago. So
Yep, absolutely.
very good.
Okay, before we wrap up, I feel like there's just like a few things. So if people are listening who aren't coaches yet, and you're thinking about the opportunity, so just like quick logistic stuff. And we can chat more one-on-one if you're listening and you're like, I want to be in on this with you guys because it's amazing. And it really is. If you are a client already, then you've already like paid your buy-in. Your challenge pack is how you sign up as a coach. If you are your total solution pack now, that $140 right now gets you in as a coach. It waives the $40 enrollment fee. And then you have your $15.95 per month fee. So, and you're going to save 25% off anything you order in the future. So even if you're just like, I know sometimes there's people who are like, well, I might be able to help 1 or 2 people, and maybe I'd like the discount, like just jump in and give it a try with us. You literally have nothing to lose. It's totally risk-free. You're not making this huge investment. Chelsea and I have new coach training starting each month. So we'll kick off a new one starting in December, where we have like a really small group of girls. It's usually, I don't know, 4 to 6 people, where we just show you literally exactly what to do. Like, this is how you launch your business. Show me what you're doing and we'll help you. We'll help you with your conversations. We help you every step of the way. I mean, of course, there's the expectation that you're going to show up and do the work, and then we help you with all of those different steps. And then we have like weekly team calls and different training opportunities for you to dive into. And it really is just what you want to make of it. If you want to come in and you want to help a few people and just make an extra couple $100 a month, that's fine. We really like get excited about running with the people who want to build a big business with us. I mean, of course, there's room for everyone, but it's really fun to like link arms with the people who want to build like big businesses alongside us. What am I missing? Did I forget anything else?
Just if you aren't a current client, right now there's a huge sale to sign up with everything that you need for a year of workouts. You would get a month of superfood to try, nutrition programs. You would sign up as a coach for free at that point. It's only $140 for the entire year. Yes, $140 the entire year, and then $15 a month. Just that gives you access to all of your training, all of your tools, your website, all the things. And the way that I look at it is, like, if you went and bought a business right now, if you went and signed up for McDonald's, you're paying thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like $140 to first invest in your own health and then help other people is like literally nothing. And coming from somebody, when I signed up, I was dead broke. I was able to do it. So, and it's the best decision I made in my life. So
Yeah.
38 cents a day.
38 cents a day. Yep.
Guarantee you it's Christmas time. Guarantee you got more stuff going in your Amazon cart than you do
Yep.
for
That's $12 a
$140.
month.
Yeah.
To invest in yourself. I always say, do not put a price tag on your health
Yeah.
or your journey. Don't put a price tag on it. It's worth
Yeah.
every penny.
Absolutely.
So I think that's about it. I appreciate you guys jumping on here. I hope that you guys got some good nuggets. If you're catching the recording later, please ask us any questions that you have. But right now is the time to sign up if you were going to do it, because January is, as you know, everybody's ready and jumping in on their health. So to get in and start learning about the business right now is going to 100% benefit you come January, when everybody and their cousins are signing up. So
We have a new program coming next month too that can be huge for like launching your business. So
Yeah, and if you don't have enough time to work out, it'll fit
20
right into your
minutes.
schedule with 20 minutes.
yeah.
Perfect.
So I encourage you to just reach out to whoever invited you to come and listen in here. We can help you guys with next steps and get you in. And we hope to welcome you onto our team soon. Thank you guys so much for taking the time with us.
Thank you.
bye.
Bye,
Thank you, ladies.
everyone.
Bye.